Okay, so welcome back to another microhome speed build. Today we're building a little work from home environment for a baker on a 20 by 15 lot in Willow Creek. For this build, I was really feeling a transitional style, which is a mix of modern and traditional styles. So I was thinking maybe this baker who lives here makes and sells their cakes right from their kitchen. And they have a little eating area outside for people to sit and chat and have some breakfast. And since I'm not using the full 32 tiles that the Tier 1 tiny home allows, as I'm making this a very tiny home with about 20 tiles, well, I didn't actually have room for a coffee machine. I know this is a bakery, but I love a bit of coffee with my croissant. And so I thought that this baker maybe teams up with the local coffee barista who has their own little pop-up shop, and they set up their shop next to the baker's house. And so the local folks can grab their biscuit and their coffee and have a nice bite. In game, I actually made the baker besties with the barista. And as far as gameplay goes, I think this little dynamic has a lot of potential and could be really fun. Like, could it be a business relationship that develops into something more or goes sour perhaps? Okay, so let's state the obvious with just the base game. You cannot sell any baked goods without the giant cupcake machine. And if I couldn't put a tiny coffee machine in the build, I certainly didn't have room for a whole cupcake production line. I don't have Get to Work or the wedding pack, but I believe with those you might be able to sell some sweets and turn this into a functional bakery. So in the kitchen, I've mixed and matched a couple of packs to try to get that transitional vibe. And for some reason, the stovetop and oven don't want to work when they're placed together. Maybe I just haven't played with them on the same counter much in the past, but I would really love it if they could be on the same counter block, because then we'd have like a fully built-in stove. We just can't have it all, can we? Anyway, so we're moving on to the tiny bedroom. The vibes in here are immaculate. Originally, I was planning for the bedroom to be a dark green, but then I went with the dusty blue wallpaper in the kitchen, and I figured, that's enough colors for me. So the bedroom is doing the full Studio McGee warm, textural, neutral vibe. I still wanted a bit of blue to tie into the kitchen, and so I've put in the iconic plant stand that came with the Blooming Rooms kit. And I left the spot closest to the bed empty because I figured it could double as a nightstand. It can display plants and hold your night guard. It can do both. And the desk with the paranormal, or from the paranormal stuff pack rather, it kind of balances out the modern bits in the room. And I really wanted the baker to have a place to sit and write recipes and put in orders for ingredients and whatnot, and maybe write out an outstanding Yelp review for their own bakery. You gotta do what you gotta do to make your business successful, Anyway, the plant box from Discover University actually makes a really great fence. I've often used it in that way to divide smaller spaces, but rarely ever to fully fence in an area. And I thought they looked pretty good with the huge tree planters. They don't quite match, but they do go well together, and they very much have that cafe vibe. Since nowadays, McDonald's and Tim Hortons are putting fireplaces in their many branches to make it look more fancy and less fast foody, you could say, we can have one too. Um, and I've put the little coffee cart from Eco Lifestyle in that back corner as the side coffee shop that I mentioned earlier. And you can hire a sim to work there for 100 simoleons to make this like the best little bakery it can be. The outside of this tiny bakery is turning out to be rather bougie, like Starbucks level bougie. We've got a fireplace and a personal coffee shop. She's successful. She gets that bread and makes it too. Well, thanks so much for watching. If you like this micro bakery cafe home, be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you like to download this build and have yourself a tiny home bakery, my origin ID is BuildsWithCoffee. That's BuildsWithCoffee, all lowercase, no spaces. You can copy and paste it from the description if that's easier. I upload every Tuesday and Friday. Thanks so much, and bye!